It's strange how something can cost so little and still take so much. A few dollars here, $9.99 there, a free trial that turned into a charge you forgot about, a streaming service you barely use, an app that once felt useful, a membership you meant to cancel 3 months ago. None of it looks serious on its own. That's part of what makes it dangerous. Because the money doesn't leave in one painful moment. It leaves quietly, automatically, almost politely. And while you're busy dealing with real life, your account keeps getting tapped by things you barely think about anymore. That's what makes subscription spending so slippery. It doesn't usually feel like overspending. It feels like background noise. Until one day you look up and realize your money's been leaving in whispers. And that's what I want to talk about today on the porch. Welcome to Wisdom from the Porch. I'm GP. This is Wisdom from the Porch. There's a reason subscription spending gets past people so easily. It's not always irresponsibility. It's not always carelessness. A lot of the time, it's design. Recurring charges are built to disappear into the rhythm of life. They're meant to feel frictionless, easy to start, easy to forget, easy to justify. And most of them don't ask for much. That's the trick. If something costs $300 all at once, you'd stop and think. You'd feel the decision. You'd probably compare, hesitate, question whether you really needed it. But $12 a month doesn't trigger the same alarm. It slides under the threshold of urgency. It feels manageable. And because it feels manageable, it rarely gets examined with the same honesty. That's how people end up with not one subscription, but 10. Not because each one is reckless, but because each one entered quietly. One promised entertainment. One promised productivity. One promised convenience. One promised health. One promised simplicity. One promised to save time. And suddenly your financial life is filled with small promises, all withdrawing from the same account. The real problem is not only the amount, it's the invisibility. Invisible spending creates a special kind of stress because it's hard to feel in the moment and hard to explain later. You just know something feels off. You feel tighter than you expected. You feel behind in a way that doesn't match your intentions. And because none of the charges look dramatic on their own, the whole pattern stays hidden longer than it should. Okay, this is where the conversation gets deeper, because death by 1,000 subscriptions is not only a money story, it's also a mental load story. Every recurring charge represents a decision you made once and are now paying for repeatedly. That means your past self is still spending your present money. Sometimes that's fine. Sometimes it's useful. But sometimes it means your finances are being shaped by old habits, old moods, old needs, and old versions of your life that no longer fit who you are now. That mismatch creates friction. You start feeling the pressure of things you're not even consciously choosing anymore. And that can leave people feeling strangely disempowered. Not because the charges are huge, because the pattern is passive. There's a difference between choosing to spend and realizing you've been being spent around the edges. One feels intentional, The other feels like leakage. And leakage has a way of affecting more than the bank account. It affects trust. Trust in your ability to track what's happening. Trust in your ability to stay ahead. Trust in whether your money is actually aligned with your values. It also creates shame that doesn't belong there. People start judging themselves for not catching it sooner, for not being more organized, for signing up in the first place, for letting convenience turn into clutter. But shame is usually not the most accurate story. The most accurate story is often this. Modern money systems are designed to make spending feel painless at the beginning and forgettable after that. So the issue is not that you're weak. The issue is that passivity is expensive. Convenience is not evil. Some subscriptions are genuinely useful. Some save time. Some improve quality of life. Some are worth every dollar. The problem begins when convenience stops being conscious, because convenience has a way of turning into drift. You sign up to make life easier, but never stop to ask whether the thing is still serving that purpose. You keep paying because cancellation feels like one more task. You keep paying because the amount is not outrageous. You keep paying because there's never a perfect time to audit your own life. And that's how drift works. Not through one big mistake, but through a series of unchecked continuations. Financial drift is expensive because it crowds out intentionality. It quietly competes with the savings goal you keep meaning to prioritize, the debt you want to pay down, the emergency fund you know would help you breathe easier, the margin that would let you rest a little more at night. That's the part people miss. These charges don't just take money, they take options. Every automatic yes to something you forgot about can become an unintentional no to something you actually care about. And when you live with enough of those unintentional no's, money starts to feel like something that happens to you instead of something you direct. And that's exhausting, especially if you're already carrying a lot. Deadlines, caregiving, work pressure, decision fatigue, emotional fatigue, plain old life fatigue. At that point, even opening the statements can feel heavy. Not because you're incapable, but because your nervous system is tired of finding one more thing to manage. Reclaiming control does not mean becoming severe. It doesn't mean stripping all pleasure out of your life. It doesn't mean canceling everything and calling that wisdom. It doesn't mean turning your budget into a punishment ritual. It means becoming honest again. Honest about what still adds value. Honest about what you forgot. Honest about what you signed up for during a season that's past. Honest about the difference between support and clutter. A lot of financial peace begins right there. Not with a dramatic overhaul, but with one clear look. What's this? What is it doing for me? Would I sign up for it again today? That last question can tell the truth fast. Would I sign up for this again today? If the answer is yes, keep it with intention. If the answer is no, that tells you something. If the answer is, I don't even remember what this is, that tells you even more. The goal is not perfection. The goal is congruence. You want your money to reflect the life you're actually living now, not a collection of expired intentions. That's where relief starts. And relief matters because financial wellness is not just about maximizing every dollar. It's also about reducing the low hum of confusion. It's about creating fewer loose ends, fewer invisible exits, fewer places where your peace keeps leaking out. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your finances is not earn more, optimize more, or hustle more. Sometimes it's simply to stop funding what no longer fits. That's not deprivation. That's alignment. So maybe the real danger was never one giant expense. Maybe it was the slow accumulation of small permissions, each one easy to ignore, each one easy to justify, each one just quiet enough to escape your attention. And maybe that's why so many people feel financially drained without always knowing why. Because when money leaves in whispers, it's easy to miss the story it's telling. If this episode is hitting home, let it be your reminder that peace is often restored the same way it was lost. One small choice at a time. One cancellation. One honest look. One decision to stop paying for what's no longer serving your life. If this gave you something to think about, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with the subscription you finally realized you don't need anymore. And share this with somebody who's been wondering where their money keeps going. And as always, thank you to Cloud Microphones for supporting these conversations. This episode is designed to help you notice the quiet drains, reduce the hidden stress, and bring your spending back into alignment with your real life. This has been Wisdom from the Porch. I'm GP. You're always welcome on the porch.